Founding Champions. Welcome back. Welcome back, all you Founding Champions. Scott here, and today the video is about the top 3 most needed. You know what? I got it right here. How to play Warhammer for reals. And there's 3 points here. Number 1, tempo. Tempo, tempo, tempo. Number 2, objectives. And number 3, combos. So what is tempo, what is objectives, and what is combos? So I'm just going to stick this right here. Completely unplanned. Wrote this in 2 seconds, but I'm going to share my thoughts with you on how to play Warhammer for reals. The 3 main takeaways for the game. Okay, so number 1, tempo. Tempo, usually a musical term about how fast the piece or song is going or how slow it's going, the speed of it. And that holds true for the deck. How fast does the deck move? You have to think about how fast can I get a combo or an objective to resolve? Okay, how much damage can I put onto my opponent? How much pressure can I put? If your opponent doesn't feel like they need to, react to everything that you're doing, then you're spending a turn not doing too much. You know, if you just draw 2 cards and they need to feel like, oh, something's really gonna come. Something's coming and it's gonna hurt next turn. So that is what tempo I am referring to in this game. So an example for tempo. Let's say you are playing Death and you have a bunch of spells in your deck. A card that can help gain you tempo advantage is using, and I have it right here, let me show you, Deathly Resolve. This is an example for Death, and I'm sure a lot of you can come up with examples. And I don't know, Destruction for tempo advantage? Yeah, there's a few examples. So what this card, Deathly Resolve, is doing is that you're not really gaining card advantage off of it. You're actually losing a card and not doing too much else otherwise in terms of gaining card advantage. But it's giving you tempo advantage. All your spells are going to rotate 2 steps forward. Okay, that's 2 turns ahead. So either they're getting their effects or you're rotating it completely out, getting its effect and rotating it completely out. So that is what tempo means. Now what can you do with that tempo advantage you've gained to win the game is that you can continuously play more cards. That's how because you're not going to spend 2 turns drawing cards waiting for your spells to resolve. You're only going to draw cards for maybe 1 turn. So that is the tempo aspect. Another example of tempo is for something like Chaos. So Chaos has a card that says, I just forgot the name of the card suddenly, but it has to be used as a wizard ability, and it kills your guy, it replaces him with a demon from your deck, or hand, I think. And that is a tempo card because you're no longer spending that turn waiting for that card to rotate out, then to use your demon from your hand. So you're able to go get that demon right away, completely replace it. Also, the demon that says when it dies, replace it with a demon from your hand. That is also tempo advantage, okay? So not necessarily card advantage, but it is tempo advantage. And notice on my list, I do not have card advantage on this list. It is just a 3-point list. Now, if I had a 4-point list, it would say card advantage. That's an honorable mention because we all know about card advantage. We've all played this game, for a couple months now. Many of you played other games. We know what card advantage is. Having more cards. Having more cards does sometimes mean that you win. In this game, not so much. In a lot of other games, completely 100%. I'm going to put these cards down. This is for another video. So this is an honorable mention, by the way, from the next video. Or the video before this one, just whenever I decide to upload it through its queue. So that is tempo. It is to gain a time advantage over your opponent. A time advantage. Next up is objectives. Sometimes also known as questing. Getting your quest completing your quest, getting your blessing, but it's called objectives. Every corner of a hero card is an objective. So this game is unique when it comes to getting those objectives. There's just not too many games I can think of where you have to score objectives while you're trying to kill your opponent at the same time. Now, when you complete all 4 objectives on a hero, you get to get that hero's blessing. Now, it's one of your random 4 blessings that are face down. Flips over, you get a sweet effect. A lot of times, those effects will swing the game from losing to winning, or winning to I just won now. And it stops your opponent from being able to swing it back because they're dead. So while trying to gain a tempo advantage over your opponent, you need to think about how can I flip over my blessings, complete those quest objectives so that I can really seal the deal, win the game, or bring the game back into my favor and then win the game. So for an example, when you're playing, I'll use Death again. If you're playing Death, Supernatural Horror is a card that can really swing things around. So if you're playing against a Destruction player and you flip over Supernatural Horror, that's 3 turns that your opponent isn't doing anything. If you remember, in their deck, they have cards that rotate, they have abilities that rotate their units, they have abilities that bring units into play in terms of, what is it called? Grot Ambush and Rallying Cry. So they don't have many abilities that do anything else. They don't have any spells in their deck usually. So it's all about units and then what those abilities can do for those units. They have about maybe 3 other abilities in their entire deck that's not going to care. They can, it's just a damage ability. So that's the only thing you're not going to dodge. So you're literally shutting the whole deck down except for 3 cards, okay? So that is what I mean by trying to flip over those objectives. Now, tempo and objectives work together. If you have units that have a short fuse, is what I call, units that just rotate, they only have 2 rotations and then they're out of there. Those units do create a lot of tempo, and Chaos is great at having those short fuses. You have the Choreographs that does 2 damage then 1 damage. They can't deploy units, which is also tempo because you're denying them tempo. And Order does that a lot. And then goes out, and then you can play another unit so that you can continue questing quicker, okay? Completing those objectives quicker. Lastly, I would like to talk about combos. Okay, combos is the culmination of both tempo and objectives all rolled into one, but it's also just the traditional combos. And I'm going to go over both of those. So a combo for tempo and objectives is, we'll use Death as an example again, and I'll have the cards right here to show you. And you're definitely going to want to watch my next video. It's this card right here, Freakish Crypt Horror and Crypt Haunter Courtier. Here's the Freakish Crypt Horror, okay? And then here's the Crypt Haunter Courtier. Courtier. Or Courtier, however you want to say that, depending on where you're from. So what's going to happen is this Freakish Crypt Horror is going to complete the objective here. It's going to rotate, do a damage and gain a life, completing this objective, and then it's going to deal 2 damage and gain you 2 life, which is going to do 2 damage here. And then all you have to do then is, once he rotates out, you play another one of these or another moored hero. So you are gaining tempo advantage and objectives or tempo for objectives, because it's a slow card, but you are gaining life and dealing damage. So it's a 6-point swing. And that's something most cards don't do, is do 6-point swings. There's a lot of cards that do, but most cards don't. The average damage a card does is 5 damage. Okay, this one only does 3, but it gains you 3 health, so it's a 6-point swing. So that gains you tempo advantage, and it quests this guy just 1 every turn. So the turn after, literally turn 4, you can have him flipped over with his blessing, excuse me, there's so many different words and lingos. The longer this game goes on, the more condensed and streamlined our lingo will be. But so that 4 turns, he's flipped over, and that is, a combo. It is a 2-card combo, or I guess 3-card, because you have to play a Warden after that. A 3-card combo to get that guy flipped over. And in my humblest opinion, Supernatural Horror, because Destruction is the best deck, is the best blessing. Supernatural Horror just shuts down your opponent's deck, and it doesn't just shut down Destruction, it shuts down all units, okay? And with another thing about combo is, now let's move on to order. A combo for order is using Triumphant Smash with different units, varying units. You can use Triumphant Smash with a Star Drake. Now you're not going to kill a second unit because your opponent's not going to get a chance to put another unit down, but it's going to do 10 damage. Okay, so if they put another unit in front of that guy or something like that, okay, we're going to use a different example. Long Strike Raptor. So he is on his X after dealing damage. You use Triumphant Smash, kills the guy in front of it, rotates him back, does 4 damage. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, so it's like Triumphant Smash says, do 4 damage. You know, Deadly Chop in Destruction just says do 1 damage. Triumphant Smash is doing 4, depending on how you use it, of course. Another part about that card, it's a huge combo card, by the way, and removal at the same time. That's why it's so good. You're getting tempo, objectives, combo all in one with that card. Another example is using Platinum Decimator with it. It goes from 2 to 3, so you've dealt all 6 damage with your Platinum Decimator, and then you kill the guy in front of it, putting it back to 2, dealing that 2, and it's going to rotate and do 5. So that Triumphant Smash just said, essentially, do 5 damage. That's pretty good. You know, basically a Platinum Decimator went from 6 damage to 11 damage, okay? So that is the tempo, objectives, and combos. And the last example I use for combo is obviously Gordrak, probably one of the best combos in the game. It did get nerfed, so you can't use it with Cowardly Grots anymore and other non-orc stuff. However, you are having cards that are gaining you massive tempo advantage to do stacking, and the Orc Scrappers, depending on how you want to say it, will do 8 damage. Also, the Big Tooth, what's it called? We call it Big Tooth in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, but it's basically the big Stabbo guy that does 7 damage if your opponent doesn't have a unit in front of it. So, you know, you can play 2 of those via Rallying Cry, and with your second action, use Gordrak to do 14 damage all in 1 turn, which is half their life almost. So that is tempo, objectives, and combo. So trying to play this game, you do have to master tempo. A lot of that is deck building, trying to get that tempo. Objectives, that's really skill intensive while playing the game. So you can master tempo when building a deck. It takes some skill in playing as well. Objectives, it's also how you build your deck to complete those objectives, but also knowing when to play your stuff, okay, to try and complete those objectives. Tempo, objectives, then combos. You have to put certain cards in your deck to even have the combos in the first place, and then know when to trigger them, when to use them. Now you can use Gordrak early, you can use Gordrak late, you can use Triumphant Smash to do that 1 damage by rotating something. So, you know, you want to time the combos properly, and that's what will put you aside from an okay player to, you know, a highly competitive player. And that's the difference between, you know, winning a tournament and losing a tournament. And those 3 are the biggest takeaways. There isn't too much in terms of card advantage, because you can have a ton of cards in your hand and just not enough time to use them because you don't have enough actions. Unless you're Destruction, which then you kind of just auto win, right? So guys, together we are the 5th Grand Alliance. I do want to thank you, for watching.